Happy Wednesday. My voice was going out. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to the greatest show on earth, Ask AP Live. Come on in. And make sure you share the video, too. Let everybody know that the greatest show on earth is on. We're going to have an amazing show tonight. Still continuing Mental Health Awareness Month. Tonight, I have a new therapist that'll be on the show tonight, Dominique Walker. I'm super excited to have Dominique on the show. This is her first time. Hi, Pancake. I miss you so much. This is Dominique's first time on the show. I'm hoping and praying this will not be her last time. But she is a licensed therapist and mental health advocate. And if you checked out my shows over the years, you know that I dedicate the entire month of May to mental health because I believe it is very important. And I want to make sure that all of us are getting the help that we need because we all, can use it. So, hey, Alyssa. Thank you so much. My pancake is on the show. Oh, my God. Hey, y'all. City Tees, LaShawn. Hey, y'all. Thank you so much for being on the show tonight. Make sure you share this live. Share this live. We want to make sure we help as many people as we possibly can. If you know somebody that's struggling with their mental health, struggling with grief, having suicidal thoughts, please make sure that you tag them in this show and that you share this show because I believe that we are going to help some people tonight because that's what it's all about. If you are here for the first time, please. Hey, Bree. If you are here for the first time, thank you so much for being on the show. My faithfuls, you are here every week. I love y'all so much. But my newbies, I hope something is said and done tonight that makes you come back. So thank you so much for being on the show. Tonight's show is sponsored by Define Beauty and Wellness Med Spa. Okay, this is my girl. She's literally been advertising with me for a while now. She's opening up a med spa. She has these amazing pre-sales going on. You can follow her right now at Define Beauty and Wellness Med Spa. Make sure that you follow her. Ladies, we trying to get it together for the summertime. She's doing some great pre-sales going on till July. So make sure that you follow her and tell her AP sent you. She might do a little something for you. We are waiting on Miss Dominique to join the show. I believe she's joining it from her business page, which is My Healing. Oh my God, am I gonna mess this up? I think it's My Healing Matters. I don't know. We're gonna talk to her about it. Today has been a day. I think it's My Healing Matters. It's something really cute and catchy, just like that. But tonight is gonna be a phenomenal show. I am so glad. Thank you, Maria. No, tonight is gonna be amazing. Thank you, Maria. Maria watches the show every week. So she knows what she's talking about. Thanks, girl. Yes, we're going to have an amazing show tonight. My official show there, My Healing Matters. I said it right. Yes, it's My Healing Matters. Thank you so much, Maria. It's so cute. It's so cute and catchy. I knew I said it right. My Healing Matters. Yes, it's so cute. So I'm very much so looking forward to Dominique being on the show tonight. We are going to give her a couple minutes to come on in. Hi, Crystal. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all on time. DJ, don't trip. What up, though? Yes, I be having to get my notes together, y'all. I am super excited about tonight's show. Koi, hey friend. Yes, me either, Keish. Me either. I love having new therapists join the show. Keish is my official Ask AP show therapist, and so if she approves it, I approve it. Yes, it's going to be an amazing show tonight. Amazing. We are just waiting on Miss Dominique to join in. And we are going to get started. Hey, y'all. She's here. Let's get on. I love this show so much. Oh, here we go. Hey, Dominique.
Hey, how are you?
Fantastic. How are you?
Good,
I thought
good.
you were joining from. I was looking for from. I was looking for your business page. I thought you were coming on from there.
You know what? I do want to, but I saw this first. So is it okay if I go out and come back?
Look at you.
I'll
Do
be
you
right back.
do you want to go out and come back for it? Would you
I do.
go out? I'm gonna let you do this. Go ahead.
Okay, no, no. If that's against the rules, I'm staying.
No,
No.
it's not. No. It's not against the rules at all. This is the great thing about having a live show
Uh-huh.
because so many things happen during the live show that wouldn't. If I recorded this, I would have to like edit and stuff. But I like live reactions.
Okay.
I like everything live. So if you want to go out and come back in, you can go out and come back in.
No, it's okay.
Thank you so much for being on the show tonight. I just want to show my appreciation because I grew up, my granddaddy always told me nobody has to do anything for you. Nobody is obligated to do anything for you. So when I say that I am honored, I am grateful for you to take time out of your busy schedule to be on my little old show. I really appreciate you tonight.
You are so welcome. I am honored to be here.
Absolutely. So we're gonna get started a little bit now. Dominique, this is our first time meeting.
Yes.
I actually reached out to you because listen, I have no shame in sliding in the DM. I have no shame in my game. However, I gotta get it done, I'm gonna get it done. So I slid in the DM. I'm like, hey Dominique, I want you on the show. Can you come on the show? And you were like, sure, when is it?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just when you are intentional and you want something done, like all you got to do is be straightforward. So I just appreciate, you not knowing me and coming on the show.
Yes, ma'am.
Dominique, you are a licensed therapist and mental health advocate. So can you explain to us a little bit about what that actually means?
Yes. So I have gone to school, gotten my master's degree in clinical mental health, right? So that, along with doing a state licensing exam, has given me the education to practice and do therapy with
Mm-hmm.
counseling therapy sessions with individuals and families. And so I'm
So how
licensed in Michigan, so I can only practice in Michigan at this
you're
time.
practicing in Michigan?
Correct.
Okay. So how did you actually? Well, let's go back. Let's talk about foundation a little bit of your background. Um, just talk to us about how you got into mental health. Was it something that you always wanted to do, or was there an event or something that happened in your life that made you say, "Hey, this is what I want to do with myself"?
Absolutely. So grew up east side of Detroit, woo-hoo, right? The child of a young mom. So mom 16, dad 14. So my grandparents and community had a huge impact on my upbringing.
Yeah.
And so what I learned very early on is how important community was. So as early as elementary school, we got the choir director helping out, right?
Yeah.
Middle school, you got the counselor sending me to programs, right? And so that was really helpful. And I've just always valued that aspect of my community. So when I went off to college, I just knew I wanted to do physical therapy. So I'm like, I love the sports physical aspect, but I like the mental health portion too. It wasn't until I went to do an internship with a residential facility and I fell in love.
Right.
All girl unit. It's called Chestnut Health Systems. It doesn't exist anymore. But they really cared about making sure these girls had everything that they needed. And they were filling in the gaps wherever they could. Obviously making sure they got clean. But I loved it.
Yeah.
Coming from a household where there was some substance abuse, things happening.
Yeah.
I don't know. I fell in love. And so from that moment, I changed my my focus to psychology and came back home, worked for a while, and then ended up going back to DePaul to get my master's degree. And so I did some life coaching while I was there.
Awesome. I really like the all girl situation. I just think all of us see ourselves in like the younger girls and be like, woo, child, I need to help you. And I really think that's a good thing, to be able to turn around and kind of pour back into our young ladies.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because of some of the influences that they have now, or or some of the people that they consider to be role models now. It's just like we need to go back and grab them. So I really, really love that. Talk to us a little bit about what is depression. I think a lot of us don't really know what depression is. I think that, when we get into a space that we don't like, we just call it depression, or, we're depressed. Can you give us the definition of depression and kind of break that down of what depression looks like?
Absolutely. The first thing that you should know is it may look differently for each individual, right? My depression can look very different than your depression. But clinically, what we're talking about is your loss of interest of doing things, right? Sadness over a significant period of time. Just maybe unable to get out of the bed. There are changes within your eating, your sleeping, your basic being able to get things done that has changed drastically. Okay. And so don't get me wrong, there'll be periods where you have moments where you're feeling down or depressed. But it does not necessarily mean that I would diagnose you with depression, right? There are other subdivisions of like adjustment disorder with depressed mood, right? This thing happened and now you're experiencing some symptoms of depression. So I also want to say about depression, anxiety and depression are like cousins. Sometimes it brings the cousin to the sleepover that you didn't ask to be there.
No,
so for real.
Yeah.
Right. And so sometimes when we're feeling anxiety, we get so worked up about things, we become overwhelmed, and now we're sad because we're not doing anything. Right. And so they kind of flip-flop sometimes in individuals, but depression, it really can look different. And what I like to say about this while we're talking about it, this is big for me. So I want us to be kind to the people that we love, especially when it comes to depression. We think that if we force them out, it'll make them feel better. And that's not the reality. Would you want to be the person sitting at the dinner table that everyone keeps saying, are you okay? What's wrong? How are you? You don't look right. You sure you're okay? You are, right? Sometimes you have to give people space to handle things the way that they feel they should. So if that means taking a step back and spending the evening doing some journaling or reading a book, they may not be able to accompany you to your event, but maybe they're doing what's best for them.
I love that. I think that I'm taking notes as we're talking. I think that's a very good thing, because one thing that I can honestly say for myself is that when I'm not feeling like my best, and I think other people around me who really know me, I'm really vocal, I'm really outgoing, I'm really talking junk all the time. When I'm quiet, I get that. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, you okay? All right? I feel like I almost hate that. To keep constantly asking, like, what's wrong with you? You'll be like, nothing, because honestly, if I tell you, what can you do about it?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's like almost I'm telling you, but nothing's gonna change after I tell you. So I'm going this way, because when do you feel like there is, or when is it the right time for somebody to seek help? Because I think a lot of times we don't want to talk to people that we know, our family or our friends, when we're going through something, we're feeling some type of way, because a couple things are going to happen. Either they're going to say something that is going to trigger us,
yes,
or they're going to say, you'll be all right, and just make it seem like it's almost nothing, especially for the strong one. So what do you think is the time, if you're feeling some type of way, like, you know what, I think now is the time that I need to get some help? Like, when do you think that is that time?
Honestly, my rule about seeking therapy is we focus a lot on those major disorders and diagnoses, but anytime something in your life changes, you can go to therapy. Okay. Let's say you lost someone, that something changed. You had a baby, something changed. You lost your job, something changed. there are so many reasons and things that you could use support around that could land you in therapy, really, right?
You mean to tell me when I have a baby, I'm gonna need therapy, girl?
Yes. Absolutely.
Dang.
Please, okay? But really, right?
Yeah.
I remember when I had already had a therapy when I had my baby, but when I got married, my life changed, right? I got this bonus son. We talking about having a baby. I called somebody like, hey, I just got married. I wanted to get some support. Like, for real. Like, seriously. Seriously. And even the positive things like marriage or babies, you can seek support, especially if you've never done it before. Right? Why not have somebody in your corner who can support you?
No, that's true. I never, and this is another side of it, because I never looked at it like that. You know what I guess this is really good and helpful, because we look at it for like the negative things, but even those things, like you said, that are life-changing, things that are different for us, that are good, you know, we can still reach out for help. That's really, really good. I didn't look at it like that.
And guess what, AP? One of the things that you relate to that a lot of women have been coming into therapy for is they're now business owners. They don't have 9-to-5 income. They're trying to manage business, success, being in new rooms. I need support around that, right? Imposter syndrome starts to happen. Wow. Should I be here? I'm doubting myself. You can come to therapy.
No, that is really good. Imposter syndrome. You brought it up. I love this is what I love. That just flows into one of my questions. Imposter syndrome, and I'm relating that to social media. Because I think a lot of the way we feel comes from looking into other people's lives, looking at social media, flicking through, not being able to put the phone down for 2 seconds, thinking that you're missing something, and going on social media after you literally just got off 2 seconds, going to sleep on it, waking up on it, just on it. And I am guilty of this, right? So I was telling my other show therapist, my show therapist, Markeisha. I believe you and Markeisha, you guys know each other, my baby. I was telling her, and we've had this conversation before, that I will actually pull myself off of social media, and I do it all the time. The longest time I've been off, I usually get off at the end of every year. So December, the whole month, I come off. And this time I stayed off for 2 months, and that was the longest time that I've ever stayed off. And I didn't want to get back on, because I was like feeling so free. I was free, girl. I was like, I didn't see nothing, I didn't know nothing, and I didn't care about nothing. So talk to us a little bit about how social media has an impact on our mental health, because I don't believe a lot of us really believe that, and it does.
Social media has set a lot of standards for a lot of different things.
Yeah.
How you date, what your love life should look like, what success looks like. So we're constantly comparing ourselves to these things that appear real.
Yeah.
We really don't know, right? And in the past, because comparison happens, we were comparing ourselves to one another, walking side by side. We could see more into what's really going on, how we're feeling. Maybe more dialogue is happening. But now, everybody's winning. So how dare you fail, right? Everything looks good. Everything is grandiose. And so it will make you feel like you're lacking in a lot of ways.
Right.
So I encourage breaks from social media. I've even gotten on and said, when do you know you should take a break? They like, if you ask, and you should take one.
Absolutely. I feel like if you are waking up and going to sleep on it, it is becoming a problem. Like, and I, like I said, I have found myself being like getting off and then picking my phone right back up. Like, whatever just happened didn't happen that fast. Like, you know what I mean? So I definitely encourage people to take social media breaks. And while we're talking about social media, I also want to factor in how relationships play a role in your mental health too. Relationships, friendships, even situations being around your coworkers, just all of these different attitudes and all of that kind of stuff that can, have you in a space. Give us some tips on how to deal with our relationships, as it affects our mental health.
Boundaries.
Absolutely.
but,
Absolutely.
but boundaries. And I have kind of a 4-step process I teach my clients where you need to decide, are these the kind of relationships that you want? And should you be saying yes? Because when you get into relationships, people pleasing comes up a lot, right?
Ooh, yeah.
And wanting to be better than the next person and making sure no one is standing in the way of your goals. So how do I maintain integrity but still take care of myself at the same time? Boundaries, right? That, I mean, I clearly stated boundaries.
Number one.
Absolutely.
I'm writing.
Boundaries is number one.
Mm-hmm.
Also, being very clear. Number two, being very clear about our own stuff. Sometimes we're carrying in our baggage, whether that be childhood trauma, where we've learned how to communicate with people. Sometimes we're not the nicest. We can be nice, nasty, right? And so what is it that we're bringing into these relationships where it may feel like maybe it is me? It can't always be everybody else. So what am I doing and what am I bringing into this space that makes people not want to be around me?
Right.
Right. Or that I'm unable to communicate in a way that's positive.
Good.
So looking at ourselves. 3, communication. And this is all part of kind of interpersonal effectiveness, but communication.
That's so
how
good.
We're talking to people, how we're listening to people, right? And internalizing the things that they say to us.
Number 4.
Number 4.
You're trying to get all 4 out of you now.
Let me think. I guess it really comes down to the people pleasing for me. And when I say setting boundaries, but asking yourself, is this something that I want to do and does it add to my life, right? Sometimes we're just saying yes because we feel obligated to people because they've done things for us or because we feel like we should. But if you really start to ask yourself, do I really want to do this? I don't. Is it beneficial? Could be. So what should I do? And then you can intentionally, when I say intentionally, I mean stop, pause, and say, this is what I'm going to do. I do not want to do this, and make a decision.
You know what? I was having a conversation with someone earlier. I was actually talking to my brother earlier about communication. And it's funny that you listed communication in your 4. I just believe that communication is just so big because not being able to effectively communicate can really put you in a bad headspace with people, especially in doing business. I just had a situation where a person that I was dealing with business wise, just I'm understanding that things happen. I'm understanding that everything does not go as planned. I get it. Like my whole career has not gone as planned. You know what I mean? I'm huge on that. But communication, like if you don't tell me what's going on, I don't know. I'm not a mind reader. I can't figure it out. And I only can go off of what you tell me, whether it be a lie or not. I don't know. But if you don't tell me, then I don't know how to move forward. I don't know how to handle what we have going on. And so I think that is like a huge thing for me, especially in my big age. I'm not getting ready to be chasing the big age, okay? I'm not getting ready to be chasing nobody around, trying to figure out what is going on with you when I am letting you know all you got to do is tell me. I'm a very transparent person. I'm the type of person where I think I can understand pretty much everything because I've lived a life. You know what I mean? I know how stuff goes. But if you don't communicate, it's nothing nobody can do. You know what I mean? So I'm so glad that you touched on that. And also having those boundaries. Boundaries are very, very, very important. You need to understand what you will not tolerate. Like this year, I'm very intentional about not doing anything that I don't want to do. super intentional.
It'll change your life.
All this year, I am super intentional about that. If I don't want to do it, I'm not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not having a conversation with nobody about it, and I'm definitely not falling out with nobody about it.
Yeah.
It just is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm if I don't want to, I will not be doing it. You know what I mean? So I do think, it's a part of us where we just have to really take control over how we feel and be intentional in it, and don't, you know what I'm saying, don't back down from it, because this is our life and we have to take control of it. It's so much crazy stuff going on in this world right now. You know what I mean? And so many emotions, so many feelings, and it's just like you will go crazy if you do not have boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not even talking about with just the outside world. I'm talking about even with yourself. Like, it's certain things that I tell myself, and I just be like, you not doing that, you can't do that, and don't even think about doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I really have these conversations with myself. I'm for real.
Because you know what would happen if you didn't, right?
Absolutely.
You've seen yourself stressed out and overextended, right? Emotional capacity full,
Yeah.
and you're still doing and doing and doing, right?
Yeah.
The other part is, if we bring all those things together,
Mm-hmm.
I remember being in college and being very down. I missed home. And one of my good friends at the time, she was having something. She invited me and I said no. And she chewed me
Mm-hmm.
out about how I wasn't showing up for my friend. And I felt so bad, like I couldn't be vulnerable in that space. So it then created this like, so what, I can't be sad. Like I can't be sad, but I'm attempting to communicate to you how I'm doing. And we have to be in a space where we're willing to listen to people as well. So we can set our boundaries, but we also have to be willing to listen if we're going to maintain positive and healthy relationships.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. Another thing that I want to touch on is the people that we deem to be so strong. Like, everybody thinks that about me. Like, oh my God, you're just so strong and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, I cry probably 30 times a week. Like, still, like, this is like, I'm not as strong as everybody deem me to be. I like that everybody think that. That's cool. But sometimes I need people to check on me, because I'm always check on people. Like, hey, just thought about you, want to shoot you a text, just wanted to talk about, how some of us literally look strong but suffer in silence. Is that a real thing?
It's absolutely a real thing. And it's kind of what I was just talking about, right? They deemed me as the person who always showing up for other people. My friends will tell you, I mean, naturally it's who I am outside of profession.
Yeah.
But people are used to me filling a certain kind of role in their life. And so I feel guilty at times saying, hey y'all, I'm not okay. Somebody check on me, right? But I have gotten better. And so on the other end, I have gotten better at asking for what I need.
Yeah.
But those people who are strong tend to take on more than they need to.
Yeah.
Because somewhere in their life, somebody either told them they had to, or they knew what it felt like if they weren't.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So instead of complaining, I'm just going to get it done, right? And I need to be okay because I still need to go to work. I still need to take care of my kids.
Yeah.
I still need to do all of these things. So I'm going to take care of this. And, oh, you need me to run you to the store? Okay. And, oh, and the baby needs, okay, right? And you look up and you're exhausted.
Yeah.
And so what we have to be better at, the strong ones, is checking what that emotional capacity looks like. Right, we easily can feel our physical because it's a thing, right? You're like, oh, I'm tired. But you can be tired emotionally and mentally as well.
Absolutely, you can.
Yeah.
Absolutely, you can. I have been there. I share this story sometimes, especially when I'm during this month, that I really had never known what grief really was until my siblings passed away about a year and a half apart. And with my sister, I didn't really have time to kind of feel if that made any sense, because it was just a bunch going on. This was at the end of November of 2019. It was just a bunch going on. And I just really didn't have time to feel. I didn't. It happened, and I was just like, okay, and I'm jumping into big sister mode, auntie mode. I'm in mode now. So I didn't have a chance to really feel. I felt, but I didn't. And my brother was sick around that same time, and my brother ended up passing away in March of 21. And so when my brother passed away, it was like, okay, I'm feeling. Yeah, I was feeling like I felt her and him at the same time. And I'm like, what is going on with me? To the point where I'm like, I really think I may need to talk to somebody, because this is becoming ridiculous. And I never in my life, like my whole life, thought about going to see someone, because I believe that, you know, us Black folk, I'm just gonna tell the truth. when we feel like we need to talk to somebody, and it's like a psychiatrist or a therapist or whatever, we be like, oh, I'm not talking to nobody. I'm not crazy. You know what I mean? I ain't going to see nobody. I'm not crazy. But at that point in my life, I was like, I might be a little nuts. I might be going a little crazy. I might need to see somebody. And I want you to just explain how getting help is not a crazy person thing, even though you might really be going a little nuts, because losing siblings back to back, that rocked my world. I've never experienced anything like that. Seeing the grief of my family, seeing my mother's reaction of losing 2 children. It was very, very stressful. It was like one of the worst times in my life. So I want you to talk a little bit about being okay with going to see someone, because I think as Black people, we have a problem with feeling like we can't talk to somebody that's not little boo-boo now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We can't always talk to boo-boo now. Yeah.
Well, first, I hate that we have to go through such difficult things before some of us actually get to that point, right?
Yeah.
For some of us, that's just what it takes, or that's what it took, right, for us to get there. I do see more people coming in and saying, hey, Dominique, I just know something is not right. Yeah. I don't know exactly what it is. I want you to help me move through this, right? Obviously, a lot has happened in the Black community where we don't necessarily trust professionals. And this is why I think it's so important that Black people are saying, hey, I want a Black therapist. I need somebody who understands what I'm talking about. Like when I say, ooh, girl, can I take off my wig? They know what I'm saying, right? Like, like they are in a space where they want to be comfortable. And so that's just general. It is okay to not be okay. It is okay to need support. It is okay, especially for people who have grown up in spaces where they don't have it. Right. We're talking about creating community. Your therapist can be a part of your community.
Absolutely.
My clients and I, we kiki in session a little bit, but we also get down to business, right? And a lot of things that they've, experienced, I haven't experienced all of it, but there are definitely some spaces where we can pull some things out of, and we can say, okay, I feel better on the other side of this, right? I'm going to have to go back to the first thing I said, which is if something in your life changes, you can go to therapy. Yeah. I believe that. For me, that because it's not just about not being okay. It's about, I don't know how to navigate this. I've never experienced this. This is really tough. I didn't want to go to work today. I felt so anxious, right? My baby's been crying. I'm barely sleeping. I don't know how to manage. Like, it can look like anything you need support around.
Right.
But especially those big things you're talking about, grief, right? It's hard.
Grief is crazy. Like, literally, I'm going to share this. I'm so transparent in my big age. Earlier, today is my nephew's birthday, my great nephew, my nephew's son. So he's my great nephew. But he's also my sister's grandson. So, my nephew, which is her son, I got on the phone to call Siri, to tell Siri to call him. And their names are similar. Why did Siri call my sister?
Siri called the sister, and you was about to lose your mind.
When I tell you, I was so triggered in that moment, like literally, she said the name, repeated it back to me. It still didn't register until I was in the car.
Mm-hmm.
So it popped up on my dash.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, wait a minute, who you calling? Like, before I knew it, I'm thinking Siri can talk back to me. I'm like, girl, when I tell you, I hurried up and hung the phone up and had to get myself together, like literally just burst into tears.
Yes.
Because I'm like, how did that just happen? Like, how did you call her? And so I'm saying that because I want to talk about triggers. That did me in. And I have more triggers than just that. Like, some songs are my triggers.
Yeah.
Some places can be a trigger for me.
Yeah. Things can be a trigger.
Yeah, I can't stand when we're in a nice environment and we doing good. We got good vibes going on, and somebody brings up like my sister or my brother. I've had that happen to me. I was just at one of my closest friends' 40th birthday party, and somebody brought something up about my brother, and I'm thinking to myself, like, we not here for that. Like, why did you know what I mean? And I want to work through those because I get it. I understand that people don't understand that may be a trigger for me. But can you talk to us a little bit about like how to handle those type of triggers when it comes to like grief, or just a space that you might be in that doesn't necessarily deal with grief, but just something that you just not now, not not in this space.
But first, I want to take this time to say, people say time heals grief. Grief goes away with time. That's not true. I'm sorry. Like, it's not true. It is something that you have to work through, and you're still living while you're missing this person or mourning this person, right? So you may not see it on me every day, but it's a real thing. So this idea that in 2 years you won't think about it anymore, false, very false, right? Yes, not true. If you are experiencing triggers to the point that they are paralyzing you in any way, these are times when you should go and seek some therapy so that you all can work through processing those things, right? But let's just say we don't have an appointment with the therapist for 2 weeks, right? You're out and about, and something like what you said happens. Someone brings up a person.
Yeah.
This is where we may be able to communicate if it's a person close to us, maybe not in that direct space, but saying like, hey, I'm still working through this. I think you want me to enjoy these memories of my brother, but actually they're doing the opposite. So I need you to check in with me, right? Like, this is really hard for me. And most people would say, oh, okay, I get it. I'm sorry. I didn't know, right? But when it comes to you, the individual being triggered, for me, grounding is always an option, right? So grounding techniques. So the best one I think is your 5 senses, right? So we all know our 5 senses.
Of course.
Sight, hearing, tasting, right? And with each one, you would name something in the room, in your head. Name something in the room, but you're taking in a deep breath. So in my office, I see the microwave is black. So I'm saying microwave, right? And maybe if I'm touching, my feet are on the floor, so I feel my feet touching the ground. And the breath is hopefully bringing you down, slowing you down. The thought is hopefully distracting you, right, a little bit. And if that doesn't do it, you can always leave that space.
Yeah.
Go take a break in the car. Go call somebody who gets it, right? But if we're talking about where we don't want to trigger anybody else in that space and we need to calm ourselves, I think grounding is the best thing that you can do. And so you're just going through those 5 senses, naming something. You can, maybe taste is probably the hardest one. If you got some water, taste. But, what I can see, smell, hear, touch, and you're breathing in and out.
I like that a lot. I want to, I want to know how you feel about this. I'm not a big person on taking medication. I'm not a not a medicine girl. I
Mm-hmm.
gotta really be in dire need of it to do
Mm-hmm.
it. But what do you feel about someone being on medication for depression or anxiety? Do you feel like that it's helpful, or what's your stand on being medicated?
Medication is not my first
Yeah.
go-to. And that's one of the things that we talk about in intake.
Mm.
But if I have someone coming in with me and they seem like they're severely depressed, I'm gonna let them know,
Okay.
hey, right, we're gonna start out, we're gonna let me figure out what's going on, let me continue to assess. But if we get into this thing and it seems like you're not managing this well on your own, I am gonna send you a referral for this
Right.
person. And you talk to them, let them know, let me tell you why I think it could be helpful.
Mm.
And I see anxiety, depression, and for me, ADHD the same way. But let's take the ADHD kid, right? They're, let's say, hyperactive, so worked up. We're trying to teach them how to slow
Mm.
down. They can't slow down. But if we can slow them down enough to teach them to stop, think, and decide, maybe we can start to bring that dosage down and they now have the skill set to do it,
Right.
right? But
That makes
if
yeah.
they're moving around and we can't get them to focus and they're failing their classes and now they want to put them on all these programs, right? Like, how do we really help them?
Right.
Same with depression. If you barely want to come to my sessions, you're missing every other session because you're down, you're in the bed, right? And I can't really help you cope or get to the bottom of what might be causing this if we can't meet. So can we get you activated enough to at least come so we can talk, so we can get
Right.
you feeling better, right?
Right.
And the opposite, anxiety. Can we bring it down enough that we can say, okay, let me figure out how we can work through this together. So
Yeah.
it's not everybody doesn't need it. Some people can do self-care schedules and not bubble baths, but like truly taking care of their mental health schedules. And they can do other things that really help. But some people need a boost. They need an assistance with getting that done. So I think it just depends on the person.
I like the fact that medication is not your go-to. Like, it's not your first thing. Because I feel like um a lot of times, doctors, that's why a lot of people don't like going to see the doctor and
Mm-hmm.
therapists or anybody, because people are scared to take medication because of the different side effects, and actually becoming addicted
Mm-hmm.
to something. That's
Mm-hmm.
scary, to feel like you need something all the time, because of how you feel. Now, do you deal at all with psychotherapy?
It's the same.
It's the same. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, psychotherapy, therapy, counseling, those. But I don't do any psychiatric. That's all for for the psychiatrist.
Okay.
And I try to stay in a space too where I'm in right now. I don't have a lot of recommendations, but I know at least like two people where I'm like, this is a good psychiatrist. They gonna help you out, right? Like, go over here and check
Right.
it out. If you say absolutely no, cool. But that's where we need to start building community as therapists and
Yes.
psychiatrists, so we can help each other. But also, I do wish that more people who had success with medication shared it.
Yeah.
Like, I do know some people who are like, Dominique, this changed my life. Like, I'm able to take care of my
Wow.
kids. I couldn't do that before, but nobody wants people all in their business,
Yeah.
and they don't have
Yeah.
to. But,
Yeah.
I do wish we saw more of the success stories and maybe what those circumstances are that might make this a better fit.
Yeah.
Like,
Because I do feel like we always hear the bad stuff first. That's just the
mm-hmm.
world. And,
Mm-hmm.
don't hear like, okay, I tried this medication and it really worked for me. Because most people, even myself, try to stay away from anything that I got to take. Like, if that's like my last resort, like having to take a simple pain pill or a simple cough syrup or just anything like that. Like, I'd be like, oh, I got to be like on my dying bed to be getting ready to take anything. I want to talk about someone being able to come see you per se. Like, are you accepting new clients? What is your protocol on being able, someone being able to get on the books with you? Because I know someone may be, watching right now, or someone may know somebody that may be suffering from depression, anxiety, maybe having suicidal thoughts. I'm not sure. But if they wanted to get in contact with you, how do they get in contact with you? Are you accepting new clients now?
I am accepting new clients.
Okay.
The best way to get, and I just made a video about this. The best way to get in contact with me is to go to my site, myhealingmatters.com. On the site, you're able to leave an inquiry to say, hey, this is what I'm looking for, Dominique, and or if there are consultation times available, you can select the consultation time. I believe in doing consultation first.
Absolutely.
I want to make sure you like me for real. And I want to make sure that if not, I can get you in the right place. Like even Keisha will tell you, I've sent her people like, hey girl, do you accept it? Right? Like this not a good fit for me, but I want to make sure you got what you need. Right. So absolutely. The website would be the best way to get in touch. But yep, accepting new clients. Thank you. Renee put it in the comments.
So for consulting, you know, I'd be having a million questions. Is that a fee for the consulting? Is that free?
Yep.
Like, is it
free consultation? Yep, free consultation. Because this is what I can say. I have been blessed. Knock on all the wood and praise God.
Yeah.
But when people schedule a consultation with me, they show up. Like and if they're not, they're like, hey, I'm so sorry, can I reschedule? Right. So I don't want to charge you for us figuring out what works best for you. Like it's 15 minutes. The questions are simple. Hey, tell me what's bringing you into therapy. Ever done therapy before? What feels like the most important things for you to work on? Boop, boop, boop. Okay. All right. What you thinking? What you see is what you get. Any questions for me? And just keep it moving, right? And if they're like, oh, well, I really need a Saturday. Right now, I don't have a Saturday. So, okay, let me get my people. All right, here we go, Keisha. All right, who we got, Shia? You know, whoever. So, yeah, consultation free. Yeah,
I love
get you ready.
Like I'm the consultation queen. Okay,
yeah.
I'm getting the consultation. That's happening. So for anybody that's watching right now, that may be struggling some type of way, not feeling like they want to talk to somebody, but they don't want to talk to somebody, but they feel like they might need to. Can you give them some words of advice right now, you know, that it's okay to seek counseling? What would you say to somebody right now that, you know, that is struggling, sitting up, watching us right now? Everybody thinks they got it together. They're the strong one. But they're really struggling in their mind right now. Just give them some encouragement and some advice right now.
So my advice would be, and it's the motto for my business, we can create the life that you desire. You do not have to suffer any longer, right? There are these ideas that if we don't suffer, then we don't have to do it that way, right? There are supports available to you. And if you're in a space where you're feeling unsure about if you are where you want to be, that's another reason to see somebody. You know, if you're having thoughts that seem to be a little darker than usual, you should see somebody. And there are so many resources available for our commercial people. You know, you got your therapy for Black girls, you got therapy for Black men, you know, so many options. If we're talking, you know, our Medicaid, we can call Detroit Win, right? And they can set us up with someone in our area. Like there's really no reason to suffer if you want better for yourself, right?
This has been incredible. Thank you so much.
You came with the questions. I appreciate it.
Girl, I try, girl. I be trying now. But you came with some really, really dope answers. You gave me a lot of insight on things that I did not think about. Gave us some great tips on boundaries. And I wrote everything down, girl. Communication and what we bring, you know, to these relationships that are sometimes not as healthy as we want them to be, but we have to start looking at ourselves sometime and, you know, knowing that it's not always everybody. We gotta look it up.
Correct.
So I really, really appreciate you for being on the show tonight. Please do not be a stranger. I want to invite you back.
Okay.
So if you'll come back, girl, you can come back. I would definitely love to have you back.
Okay, I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Have a good night, okay?
You too.
Okay. Bye.